Fat Joe in the past has stated that he sent a kite to have Puerto Ricans protect Tupac in prison. Well, while doing an interview with The Art of Dialogue, Tupac's cousin was trying to be politically correct and said, "I'm not saying he's lying," but what followed really was him basically saying Joe was lying. He questioned the legitimacy of Joe's claims.
Man, roll the clip.
Fat Joe. Shout out to Fat Joe. Got a lot of respect for Fat Joe. He's from the Bronx. I'm from the Bronx. So shout out to Joe. I don't have nothing against him. I like him as an artist. I think he's dope. He's thorough. But I have to disagree with something that he's been saying on podcasts about Pac calling him about some Puerto Ricans putting pressure on him in Clinton. Now, the reason why I'm questioning that, I'm not saying Joe is lying, I'm just questioning it. The reason why I'm questioning that is because I know how the Puerto Ricans roll in prison. And I know Joe is strong in New York with Puerto Ricans. I've been around Joe several times and he got Puerto Ricans around him that'll hurt something. For real, for real. So I know he got strength with Puerto Ricans, his people. But as far as Tupac being in prison and having to call Joe to keep the Puerto Ricans off his back because they think that he got beef with Joe in the street or some, I don't know about that. Mind you, I was going to visit Pac every month. If Pac was having problems with anybody in prison, I would have been the first to know about it. You gotta know, the people who are in prisons, who run the prisons, there's a lot of Puerto Ricans who do, don't get me wrong, but a lot of people who run the prisons in the New York State penal system are people that we know. They people that love us. They family members, man. They people, yo, you get where I'm coming from, Del Rey? Tupac wasn't in a prison where people was going to walk all over him. That wasn't going to be the situation. He was in prison with people who were strong. Tupac didn't want our people protecting him. He refused when he first got into Clinton. There were people already with care packages for him, like strong people, like legendary. Like I'm talking about legend, they all in the newspapers, dude. Legendary. That is telling Pac, if you got problems, let me know. I'm gonna make sure that the CEOs know, blah, 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 and this and that. And Pac telling them, nah, that's all right. I don't need none of you guys to help me with nothing. I'm good. I'm gonna ride this on my own. And then the officers, knowing Pac's connection with some of the strongest people in Clinton, taking him out of population and putting him in segregation so that he don't incite anything in population, so that there's no chance of anybody trying to take advantage of this guy who is being watched by some of the strongest men in prison. Does that make sense to you? That some Puerto Ricans is gonna put pressure on him so that Pac can call Joe, of all people, to tell his people, you know, does that make sense? And like I said, he's right about the Puerto Rican. They got strength in those jails and they buck wild, you know, but when it applies to them putting pressure on Tupac, I don't see that. I see that being far-fetched. I don't see that being actually accurate. Now, he may have embellished a little bit in telling that story, but I do not see Tupac being pressured enough to where he has to call Fat Joe to clear some stuff for him. I don't want to go and get into names and like that, but he could have called any one of the people that I'm thinking about that could have put a stop to whatever that was going on with him, if it was going on.
Now, in the past, we've seen Napoleon from the Outlawz confirm Joe's claims.
Even Pac told us, I heard it out of his mouth, that when he was up north in Clinton, he said that Joe Peoples, he was like, man, Fat Joe People held me down. You know what I mean? Pac said it. He said, man, Fat Joe had some people that was locked up. They showed me a lot of love.
Charlie Rock LD, rest in peace, also said that Joe sent him the kite to hold Tupac down in prison.
Pac was on fire. Mad people wanted to get at Tupac and Clinton, you know, for a couple of reasons, you know. So I got the kite from Fat Joe. Fat Joe sent me the ill kite. Yo, Charlie, you gotta hold this nigga down. At the time, Joe was my brother. So yeah, I was in Clinton. This was when he had, as y'all know, Tupac had blue trial. I think he got a 1-3 or whatever, and his ass was in Clinton. Mad people wanted to get at him in Clinton. Mad organizations wanted to get at him in Clinton. The number one reason is because Tupac was a trophy. For those that know what a trophy is. For those that don't know, I'm gonna explain it to you. What is a trophy? A trophy is a celebrity that has status, or you a G that got the crazy reputation. Now the youngins that's trying to come up in the game and they want to get a reputation or whatever, what do? They go after the trophies. So yeah, I get the kite from Joe telling me to hold Pac down. So I'm doing what my brother's asking me to do. And mad people wanted to get at Pac. For one, because he was a trophy. And dudes want to go around saying, I'm the nigga that stabbed Tupac. That's your rep right there. That's what you consider a trophy. So yeah, another reason dudes wanted to get at Tupac was because he had the case. And dudes on the inside don't play that, my man. Those that know. If you come in with a case, a child case, some heinous shit like that, a bitch shit like that, dudes want to get in you. So back to your boy Pac. I ran up on him in the yard. I told him who I be. I told him I got the kite from Joe. And on the strength of Joe, Pac even mentioned it in an interview that Fat Joe had his people hold him down. So y'all know I ain't capping. Your boy Tupac said in an interview when he got out that Fat Joe people stepped to him and held him down. I'm the nigga he was talking about. The OG Charlie Rock LD. You already know, man. So yeah, man, I met Tupac in the yard. I stepped to him, told him who I was. I gave him, I blessed him with 2 crates of cigarettes. I gave him an ice pick, a razor, and 5 bags of weed. Yeah, I know your boy Pac liked to smoke, and your boy C-Rock was, your boy C-Rock was running the yard, my man. I'm that dude. So dudes seen that I snatched Pac under the wing. They seen that Pac was under the protection of Charlie Rock LD and my crew. And some dudes were still trying to get at him. I had to send a couple of soldiers to get at dudes to back up off Pac. Cause just cause I was busting my gun don't mean I'm the only dude that was busting my gun. Niggas stay busting their gun. You already know. I never say I'm the only dude that was putting in work. No, everybody was putting in work.
In this situation, I do believe that Joe sent the kite to hold Tupac down in prison, but only because Charlie Rock LD said so. People in the past have proven that Napoleon has been caught lying in some of his stories, so I wouldn't believe it just because he said it, even though he was Tupac's man. But I was real cool with Charlie, so I believe his word. I just think Joe tends to put some extras on it, so I don't necessarily believe things went down the way he says, but overall, I do believe that it happened. So y'all let me know what y'all think about this, man. Do you think Joe really sent people to protect Tupac in prison? Put your thoughts down in the comments and make sure you like and subscribe and stay connected with Panda Chop TV. Peace!
Panda Chop.
Panda Chop.
Panda Chop.
Panda Chop.
Panda Chop.
Panda Chop.
Panda Chop.